Do you feel like you're just stuck in the mid-game of RuneScape, not really progressing your account and looking at all the new high-level content being released, thinking, I would love to do that, but I just not have the gear, I don't have the skill, I would love to be one of those players, but I will never be. What if I tell you that you can be? Let's talk about it. Yo, what's going on guys? My name's Chivalric and today we're going to be talking about how you can escape the mid-game and how you can become one of the end-game players that can do new releases on release date and make a lot of money out of them. Obviously, I just want to say that obviously mid-game and end-game is a very broad term for everything, just in general in this game, and some people might consider certain things mid-game and other people might consider other things mid-game and end-game. Some people even say that a max cape is still mid-game, and I would say pretty much that is the case. But if you want any specific tips besides the ones that are given within this video, definitely leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you happen to have Discord, definitely join my Discord server. I never really plug it, but for this one, like, feel free to just tag me in my Discord, just ask a question in general in a RuneScape chat, because people want to help you, people will be there to help you. So if you ever want to know something, just let me know either in the comment section down below or my Discord. Also, if you're going to enjoy this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Let's get into the video. So, what will I be considering mid-game for this video? So, what should you be as a mid-game player? Well, I see mid-game kind of as at least max combat stats, 80-ish base stats, a 200-ish mil bank, with some tier 80 gear. I think that's a pretty decent bang in the middle mid-game setup. I am assuming that you're either working on curses and or overloads, because those are pretty much like a hard requirement for any PVM you're doing, and even 96 summoning to a certain extent when it comes to Ripper Demons. You might think, oh well, that's like late game. No, that is really where pretty much like you can start moving towards the late end game. And with end game, I pretty much mean like doing solo necks, and high enrages Glacier, Zuck, elite dungeons, obviously the new Zamorak boss, anything like that. Anything that pretty much is more difficult to do, even like God Wars Dungeon 3 solos. Like, you are able to do that. They are not that difficult, but you just need the right tips, tricks, and just set up to be able to do so. However, I just want to give, I don't want to call it a disclaimer, but I kind of just want to point something out that I always see just everywhere when this topic just gets brought up, whether it's my comment section, whether it's Reddit, Twitter, in-game, is that people seem to be under the impression that high-level players all play 10 hours a day, or that all got really lucky, or that they're all buying bonds or whatever, and that is just not true. It is a grind to get to endgame. I will tell you that. It is a grind, but everything in this game is a grind, and if you're not ready for it, then RuneScape might not be the game for you. If you want to be a high-level player with nice tier 90, tier 92 gear, weapons, etc., and do all these new cool bosses, you will need to be putting in the time and effort to do so. It will not, like, even with this guide, you won't be there within like 2 weeks or a month or whatever. It will take months, and I kind of just want to point it out. Sure, some people might get lucky, and yes, you could say I got lucky with my blood dye, because I did get a blood dye. I sold it for 5.6 bill, and it really catapulted my account. But then again, I put myself into that situation. I solved over 2,000 clues in general over all tiers, making a lot of consistent money as it is, and then just happened to get lucky with blood dyes. And I think that leads into my first tip perfectly, is put yourself into the situations to get lucky. And what I mean by that is, for example, let's take Croesus as a good example. If you need a guide, go check out my guide. I think it's really, really good. And I think it's very, very clear for everyone to just learn Croesus with Sus Alert and not have to learn the mechanics that difficult. They're not difficult. It's good money. And I kind of just want to point something out. I did 200 kills at Croesus, and a unique drop is about 1 in 50. You do around 8 kills an hour. But let's, for simple maths, call it 10 kills an hour. Every kill, at least when I was doing it, was was 20 million GP. So just by getting to 200 KC made me 400 million gold. That is me putting myself in a situation of getting a rare that is also worth around 500 million GP with either the top, the legs, or even the helm. Like right now, those prices are absolutely insane. What I'm trying to say is, I'm putting myself in that situation, and I got unlucky, but still made money. And that's with a lot of things in RuneScape. Put yourself in situations where you're making consistent money, but you're not expecting to get a high level drop. Whether that's at Croesus, whether that's at Nex, whether that's at wherever you're doing it. Make sure you have a consistent way of making money, and then just hope to get lucky in a way, but don't expect to get lucky. And I think that's the most important thing with just RuneScape. Don't expect to get lucky. Expect that you have to grind out necks for 10 hours, for example, geo necks, to be able to afford a weapon upgrade. And then everything else that you might get along the way might be just extra. So that is one big tip that I want to give you guys before we even get into it, is create your own luck. It's a bit of a vague one, and we'll get into more concise ones in a little bit, but it's so important. Put yourself into the situations and then you will make money. Don't rely on luck, rely on consistency and hope to get lucky on the side, if that makes any sense. But for some more concrete actual examples, I want to point something out that a lot of people hate, but I only have 2 for you. Do dailies. And as I said, there are only 2. First of all, do shop runs. Shop runs are very consistent money. They're about 5 to 7 mil, depending on the prices of runes and all the other things you're buying, a day. Go look at Nuzz Nuzz's guide, which I will also put in the description down below, but also in the cards. I always reference his guide, but his guide is pretty much everything you need. So I could make a guide myself, but there's just no point. Go check out Nuzz Nuzz's guide on it. But it's consistent cash. To put it in perspective, if you do it every single day for a month's time, it's 150 mil in cash. That's a lot of nice spending money. And even if you see it how I used to do it, it's like that 5 million cash that I make every single day is kind of my allowance money for the day for me spending on PVM. And that kind of gets into my next point, is spend your money. It is very, very important to be spending your money. However, you need to grind for a blast flask as well with the dailies. I completely forgot to point it out at the dailies. A blast flask is, some people consider it as a very, very, very endgame thing. And I would say it is true. If you don't know what a blast flask is, it is 1 inventory spot for, I think it's 80 doses of extreme prayer potion. So that is literally 40 full restore from 0 to 99 prayer in 1 inventory slot, which is amazing for things like Zuck or Elite Dungeons. Just wanted to point it out. Do that every single day because it is good. But anyway, spend your money. Spending your money is super important. The whole meme of your money makes money is actually true. Like, it generally does make money. Like, there's no point of you having 10, 20, 30 mil sitting in your bank when the 10, 20, 30 mil can buy you a new upgrade, making you do more DPS, thus getting quicker kill times and making even more money, or buying supplies so you can actually go bossing or to make overloads or whatever it is. It will always make money. Your money isn't gonna get more money for you because if anything, it's sitting in your bank longer will just make it devalue. It just goes down in price. So upgrade your gear, upgrade your setup for maybe if you do clue scrolls, or just use it to improve. And there are a lot of ways to spend your money, and I think one of the most important things to do is focus on one combat style when it comes to combat and PVM. And I would suggest you do that with magic, because magic has the animate death spell, which we'll get into in a little bit as well. Pretty much negating a lot of damage when you're using tank armor, which could be Ganadormic, which is really cheap, Sea Singers if you have it from ports, or obviously at the end game it will be Crypt Bloom. But even with Ganadormic, you negate a lot of damage, and it's very learner friendly because you barely take any damage whilst doing a boss. For example, probably on screen right now you see Hellweir gameplay of me. I'm pretty sure it's with my Ganadormic, but I did the AFK Hellweir method with Ganadormic. It is easily doable, and Hellweir right now is insane money because these cyber components are pretty much like 35-40 mil for a piece that you can buy of the G, so definitely worth doing. But spend it to make more money and focus on one style, and I would just suggest it being magic. But when you get into PVM, I think the most complicated thing for a lot of people are the action bars. I made a video on basic action bars, like the bare basics, like for people that have never touched an action bar in their life and have no idea. It is super important to have a great action bar setup. There are a lot of sources in it. Go check out that video, and that is something I kind of want to point out as well. If you really want to get to the end game, you kind of have to watch a lot of videos. You kind of have to read up a lot. It's boring, but it kind of needs to be done. It's just how this game works. It sucks. Should it be changed? Probably, but just how the game works. But watch my basic video if you are completely clueless about action bars and you don't know how it works and how to set them up. And if you want a little bit more advanced but still very beginner friendly, go watch Protoxx's. He made one like pretty much a week after mine, and it's like, it's literally the perfect predecessor to my video. Like, it's literally the perfect part 2. So shout out to Protoxx. Amazing, amazing guide. So you have your action bar set up. You know what to do. You spend your money. You have your gears. Where do you start? Where do you start to make money? Because money makes the world go round, and it goes for RuneScape as well. Well, I have a few suggestions for you. First of all, Arc Laser. Starting with normal mode, because normal mode is the perfect place to just practice any PVM, period. It's the best place to just start practicing and get comfortable with your new setup, with your gear, with your supplies, etc. And normal mode Arc Laser is still pretty decent money. And then as soon as you're comfortable with Arc Laser normal mode, go try hard mode. Try push your luck and pretty much like try to go to a point. For example, go to like 40% in rage, and at 40% in rage, you pretty much are out of supplies and can't continue on. Claim your loot and try again. It's a perfect place to practice, and the Enrage mode is a really good way to, you know, push yourself and put yourself in a more dangerous situation, but still getting rewarded for it. Another thing, if you have a friend or you're playing with a friend, or maybe you're in a clan, or maybe even in my Discord, hopefully, you can do Duo Nex. Duo Nex is not that difficult. Even if you go with 2 inexperienced players, you might die a few times, but you should be able to do Duo Nex perfectly with around tier 80 gear and maybe tier 85 weapons, whether that's the bow or that's crossbows or whatever you have at tier 85 or 80 or whatever. But it is easily doable to do next. Doable to duoable next is what I'm trying to say. Because next is good money as it is, and the drops in general are amazing as well. And the drop is like 1 in 22, so the chance of you getting a drop is quite high, and it's a good way to start like upgrading your gear. So for example, if you just grind out an hour of Nex every single day, or 2 hours of Nex every single day, or every weekend or whatever, you will consistently make a good amount of money over time, and it's a great way to upgrade your gear. And the only unfortunate part is if you chose to do with magic, you kind of need range to go at next, because magic is like the worst style there. But in general, it's an amazing way to just catapult your account. And another thing that I kind of want to point out with PVM and where you should start, and this one is a more difficult one, but right now it's got Presumption 2 bosses, in particular Hellweir and Vindicta, because those components are needed for new God Presumption 3, aka Zamorak, whatever upgrades. Is the components of the Dragon Rider Lances and the sets, the armor sets you get from those, and the same goes for Hellweir. All the unique drops there are ridiculous amounts of money right now as well, because those components are needed, and that's a big tip I want to give. Look at the new boss. Look at the things that are needed, for example, if it's components, if it's like the Daganov rings when it came to the Rex Matriarchs, and go grind those out. That is a big piece of advice I can give you, is look at what the end game players need from lower tier bosses, because RuneScape seems to be really implementing that recently, which is good. It's amazing. So look at it and go grind this out, because the end game players are not going to grind it out, but they still need those supplies, and they are willing to pay lots and lots of money off them. So pretty much benefit of the end game players to become an end game player is kind of what I'm trying to say. Right now, as of me making this video on the 26th of July, it is the God Presumption 2 bosses, Hellweir and Vindicta, but for example, a little while ago to Rex Matriarchs, it was the Daganov Kings. Like, the rings were going for 10, 15 million GP each, and they're only 1 in 128, and you can easily do like 200-300 Daganov kills. Like, pretty much you can do the max amount of Daganov kills on spawn limit quite easily with not that great gear. So definitely look into that. Huge piece of advice. Next up, big account unlocks are super important. A lot of people bang on about it, but it is very true. Some things like the Spirit Cape that you can get from the Dungeoneering shop, reducing the drain rate of your summoning points. Archaeology relics. Dude, at level 50 archaeology, you can unlock the Derek's relic, that where if you're at like 20% or 30% health, you get just a flat out damage boost. That's amazing, and it's a little bit expensive at 30 mil, but then again, it will get you faster kill times, and it's just great in general. Another thing is quest items. Quest items are very useful to get. Obviously, I'm assuming that you already got Sunshine and Death Swiftness. If you don't, please go get it. But just in general, there's so many quests, whether that's monsters or areas that you unlock from them, that are very useful. And I know it's a bit vague, but if I name all the quest items and Slayer monsters or whatever, or teleports that you can unlock from quests, this video will be extremely long. But there are many sources online that will tell you a lot of great quest items to unlock. But the most important one for me in this video is unlock Animate Dead from the Temple of the City of Sentis in quest, my bad, because it is incredible. It is so freaking good. It literally negates a lot of the damage. Like, for example, to put it in perspective, when me and my friend go Zamorak, dual Zamorak at 90% in rage, he uses 2 or 3 pieces of food, including obviously using Blood Barrage and Animate Dead. I use about an inventory and half a yak with range. That is how good it is. And the same, for example, with the Twilight of the Gods, which I have done and he has done as well. It is like a flat out 20% damage reduction in the elite dungeons of Zamorak and at the Zamorak boss fight as well. And the same goes with the Curse of the Blackstone for the previous elite dungeons. That's also a flat out damage reduction. So things like that from quests are amazing. Look into them, that might apply to your content, and follow the guides that are saying that you need certain things for certain content, because it generally really helps out. And lastly, have some alternate money makers. I understand that making money just via PVM can be boring and you just kind of want to do other things. Things that are amazing right now as of me making this video is making God Arrows. Big Game Hunter will always be good, and you're still training your skills with that if you haven't got the 99 Hunter yet, because the Dragon Methods are amazing money. Archaeology, even just digging up the supplies just in general and then selling them, or just restoring the first like relics that you can dig up and then disassembling them and then making component packs is also good money, and it's AFK. Clue scrolls are always good money and will always be good money. Easies, hearts, elites, masters, they're insane money. That's where the majority of my wealth actually came from. So huge recommendation from me. Just do clue scrolls. They're fun to do as well, and it's a good break, and you learn the game and you learn searching and you learn your movement, and it's good. And rune crafting will always be good money, because especially mage being the meta right now, you need it. You need a lot of runes, so make runes will make you money. And lastly is listen to the high level players. If they give you pieces of advice that are obviously realistic, if they're just like, oh yeah, just scam 2500% Telos, yeah, no, that ain't it, bro. But if they tell you, hey dude, come with me to Kroos or something, go with them to Kroos, bro. Because they actually know. They know, high level players know what you need to do because they're high level players. They got there for a reason, bro. So listen to them, take their advices, and just, you know, have fun. That's the most important thing as well, have fun. Like, hopefully you have a friend, and if not, maybe you can meet someone in my Discord or via a clan in RuneScape or another Discord, because it is more fun with a friend. And it's not like I'm saying, oh yeah, find a friend to play RuneScape and you need that to become endgame. No, you don't. You really do not. It's a suggestion. It makes it more fun. And just in general, have fun with the game. But I really hope that this guide helped you out get to the end game. I tried to keep it as concise as I humanly could, but obviously I want to put as much in this video as well, so it's a little bit long. I see on the side it's like nearly 18 minutes long, but really hope it was helpful. If you did think it was helpful, definitely leave a like, share the video as well, subscribe if you're new. My name is Chevalric, and see you guys in my next video.